I fulfilled their order. The first thing I noticed was that the product didn't exist. That wasn't just paranoia, or me being overcautious. I sell on Amazon full-time. Private label e-commerce. It's how I pay my rent, how I live. I don't sell anything unusual, just small stuff I can source cheap and flip clean. Rebranded accessories, minor home goods, fitness gadgets, survival kits, low competition niches with fat margins. I keep my inventory low and my margins lean. Everything was simple. Until it wasn't. It started with the order. One unit of a product I didn't recognize. Order hashtag 112-5478972-3029934. I was scanning my fulfillment queue when I spotted it. Silent guest wall hooks, 3-pack, bone finish. There was a photo. They looked like any minimalist hook you'd find in a dorm. Matte white, vaguely organic looking. But the texture was off. Rough, porous. Too realistic. I didn't remember listing them. I clicked on the ASIN, expecting a 404 or maybe some hijacker that had jammed their product into my store's back end. But no, it routed back to my storefront. My brand name. My logo on the image. Even the description sounded like something I would write. Hooks that hold more than weight. Silent guest wall hooks blend seamlessly into your home, resting where no one watches. Unseen. Unmoving. Until they're needed. Creepy. Too poetic for me. But the metadata showed I'd published the listing 12 days ago. On a Thursday. There was even a thumbnail of my laptop's screenshot folder with the draft page. That night, I checked my activity logs. I hadn't logged in on the 23rd. But the listing was still there. Created by you. I thought about canceling the order. Something was off. I even opened a support ticket with Amazon, but got a canned reply a few hours later. Listing shows no errors. Order is valid. Seller responsible for fulfillment. So I fulfilled it. Out of morbid curiosity more than anything. I didn't have any silent guest hooks, obviously. So I just packed up a random box of 3D printed plastic hooks from another supplier, relabeled it, and shipped it out with my usual print-on-demand packaging. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. The next morning, I had 7 new orders for the same product. All from different parts of the country. All marked expedited. The customer names were strange. Half names, unfinished phrases. Mr. Under. Guest lying flat. And knocking. Every one of them left a 5-star review. They all said the same thing. They are already here. Thank you. I tried to remove the listing again. But it reappeared 5 minutes later. No matter how I edited it, rewrote it, removed keywords or deleted inventory, it stayed. I couldn't kill it. That night, my doorbell rang at 3:03 a.m. I live alone. Quiet street. No one ever visits. But the bell rang once. Then again. Then 5 times in a row. I didn't open it. I looked through the peephole. Nothing. No one on the porch. Just my delivery mat and a shadow cast by the street lamp, which looked longer than usual. Too long. I checked my security cam the next morning. The feed cut out between 2:59 and 3:07 a.m. When it came back, the map was flipped over. Something written underneath in chalk. Do not refund. I cancelled all pending orders. I removed every SKU on my store. Took the whole thing down. Even logged into Seller Central and started the process of closing my account. It froze. Unexpected error. Try again later. By the time I got back to the dashboard, my listings were restored. Every one of them replaced by variations of the same product. Silent guest hooks. Bone finish. Ribbed. Threaded. Mouth grip. Some of them had photos now. Real ones. Not renders. Photos of the hooks already installed. In walls I didn't recognize. Homes I'd never seen. One had a child's backpack hanging from it. Another held a set of keys, a scarf, and a single black glove. Another had something else, something wrapped in plastic, dripping. I tried to screenshot the listings, but my system froze again. Then my browser closed on its own. A second later, my screen flashed black. A new folder appeared on my desktop. Fulfilled. Inside were photos of my apartment, taken from inside. One of them was my hallway, where I hang my coat. But in the photo, there were 3 hooks. White. Porous. I don't have hooks there. I spun in my chair, looked at the wall, and I swear, I saw something shift, like a ripple under paint, like a breath exhaling. The hooks weren't there. Not yet. But I could feel them coming. Part 2, Prime Delivery Guaranteed. I didn't sleep after that. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those hooks. Their curved, bone-colored edges. The slight indentations like finger joints. I saw them growing out of the walls, sprouting slowly like teeth from a newborn skull. And always, in those dreams, or visions, or whatever they were, something was hanging from them. Keys. Coats. Dolls. Something wet. At 5:04 a.m., I checked my Amazon account again. I don't know why. Habit, maybe? Like a wound you keep prodding even after it's infected. The dashboard looked different. It was still mine, same storefront name, same sales chart, but the interface had changed. No tabs. No customer service link. No delete listing button. There was only one item in the inventory. Silent guest wall hooks, origin batch. Status fulfilled. Units pending, infinity. Review rating, 5.0. I clicked on the customer list. There were thousands. Tens of thousands. And they were still growing. Each entry had a delivery address. But none of them were real. Not exactly. The still room, behind your hall mirror. Crawl space below the first house you forgot. Basement, 11 steps down, 1 step too far. Inside your leftmost thought. And yet each one was marked, delivered. I reached for my phone to record the screen. It vibrated before I touched it. One new notification. Thank you for fulfilling your prime responsibility. Tracking updates will follow. No app. Just a system push. When I couldn't swipe away. Then, a second vibration. Photos. Live photos. Taken from my phone. Except, I hadn't taken them. The most recent one showed my apartment, tonight. Now, me, hunched over the desk. And right behind me, hanging from the white drywall, 3 hooks. I dropped the phone, turned fast. There was nothing there. The wall was blank, clean, but I couldn't stop staring at the spot where I knew they should be, where they'd become. Around noon, a package arrived. No return label. No carrier truck outside. Just a cardboard box sitting perfectly centered on my welcome mat. I brought it inside, because of course I did, and opened it. Inside were 3 hooks. Not plastic. Not painted. They were bone. Heavy. Warm. And the second I touched them, I remembered things I shouldn't. A girl in my class when I was 6, Sarah Lynn. Her family moved away suddenly after she stopped talking. Nobody visited her house after dark. A game we played in the woods when I was 10, saying names backward into a knotted tree. A wall I stared at for 3 hours when I was 17, unable to remember what my bedroom looked like. Each hook gave me back one of those memories, like interest on an unpaid debt. I checked my phone again. It was vibrating, gently, like it was afraid to wake me. A map had opened on its own. My location was marked with a red dot. Another dot was blinking nearby, getting closer. Then I heard it. A knock. Not at the front door. Inside the apartment. I stood. Listened. Waited. Another knock. Softer. From the hallway. I grabbed my phone and slowly crept toward the sound. As I passed the kitchen, the lights flickered, and the air turned thick. Like heat and humidity, and something exhaled. There was a mirror on the hallway wall. I'd never hung it there. But there it was. Rectangular. Thin frame. Slight warp to the glass. And inside the reflection, my hallway again. Only in the mirror, there were 7 hooks on the wall. All full. I recognized my coat. My keys. But there were other things too. A child's drawing, soaked and torn. A length of string with teeth on it. A red badge with my name in a language I couldn't read. And from the mirror, something moved. I froze. The knock came again. This time, not on the wall. On the glass. I backed away. The mirror rippled, just slightly. As though something on the other side had laid its hand flat against it, slowly dragging its fingers downward. My phone vibrated again. A delivery confirmation. New order received. Estimated delivery immediate. Location U. There was no cancel order option. Just a button that read, accept fulfillment. The lights dimmed. And somewhere in the apartment, I heard tape being pulled. Boxes being packed. Labels printing. As if the walls themselves were assembling my shipment. I tried to leave. The door wouldn't open. The lock turned freely, but the knob wouldn't budge. It was like the frame had grown solid around it. I threw my shoulder against it. Nothing. I screamed. Nothing. Just the sound of my own breath. And the soft creak of hooks settling into place behind me. I turned once more. There they were. 3 of them. Bone white. Now visible. Dripping slightly. And something already hanging from the middle one. My phone. Split clean down the middle. A single word burned across the cracked screen. Fulfilled. I'm still here. I haven't left the apartment. I don't think I can. Orders keep coming in. Sometimes the packaging prints itself. Sometimes it's waiting in my hands when I wake up. I don't remember packing it. But it's always exactly what they want. The customers leave reviews. I don't know where they post them, but I can hear them. Every night outside my door. Small, whispering voices. Thank you. Just what we needed. It fits perfectly. And last night something new. We'll be back for the rest of you soon. Part 3. Packaging slips. The day bled into night, though I never saw the sun set. I think it stopped rising. The windows are still here, but the light outside isn't sunlight. It's a kind of glow. Gray. Pale. Like the inside of a cloud or the waiting room in a dream. No movement. No shadows. Just illumination. And every hour or so, another package appears. Always small. Always sealed. Addressed in looping, careful handwriting. Each one marked. Do not return. Inside the latest was a hand. Small. Withered. Fingernails neatly trimmed. Still warm. Wrapped around it was a packing slip. Like the others, it was blank on one side. But the other was personal. Handwritten. Different each time. This one said, "He made us stand in a line. One by one. We were so polite. We hung everything just right." I dropped the box, while rising in my throat. The hand twitched. Not a spasm. A wave. I haven't opened another package since. But they're piling up. On the counter. In the hallway. Stacked neatly near the front door I can't open. The mirror in the hallway is bigger now. Not by size. By presence. Its glass no longer shows my reflection, just flickers of the apartment as it could be. Or as it will be. Sometimes I see myself there, stocking shelves that don't exist. Sometimes I see others. Empty-eyed. Moving with mechanical precision. Always facing away from me. Always working. They never stop. They just fulfill. My laptop powers on by itself now. There's no desktop, just the cellar central dashboard. But it's changed again. No graphs. No sales charts. Just a single metric. Backlog, 9,247 orders. Below that. Estimated processing time, eternal. I don't know who I'm working for anymore. I don't think I ever did. The items listed are no longer things. They're memories. Moments. Ideas. I saw one marked as shipped yesterday. Smell of grandmother's kitchen, late summer, 1994. Another. Sound of first love laughing in snow. And another. The last safe place. Who ordered these? And where were they sent? I tried to delete them. Every time I select one, my mouse locks in place. My hand cramps. I hear tape pulling. Scissors snipping. Another box appears. Always another box. I haven't eaten in days. But I'm not hungry. My stomach is a knot of air and movement. Something shifting. Rearranging. This morning, I felt something under my shirt. I pulled it up. A shipping label. Pressed to my skin like a birthmark. Faint at first. But now I can read it. Order number 00000001. Ship to pending. I'm being prepped. That's the only explanation. They're not just using my account. They're using me. And the house, if it ever was my apartment, isn't shelter anymore. It's a warehouse. The walls stretch when I'm not looking. The corners don't meet the way they should. I walked from my bedroom to the kitchen and counted 12 doors. I only remember 3. One door had a metal slit across it. A voice came through last night. Soft. Tired. I was a top-rated seller. FBA. Gold badge. Fulfilled everything. Then they changed the algorithm. It started asking for pieces of me. A long pause. Then, you can't cancel what you already accepted. Another pause. And then, whatever you do, don't let the last order print. I tried to respond, but the slit was gone. The door was just wall again. Nothing new today. No knock. No tape. No customer service email telling me they've suspended my privileges for non-compliance. Just silence. And a single new item in my dashboard. Final order, ship yourself. Below it. Fulfillment method prime. Handling time, 1 hour. The timer started the moment I saw it. And I can already feel the tape tightening. Something inside me is being folded. Something inside me knows where it's going. My skin itches where the label used to be. I looked again. It's gone. Replaced with something new. Destination, out there. Condition, like new. I think they're almost ready to ship me. And God help whoever opens the box. Part 4, return window closed. I stayed completely still for almost a full day. Not that time works here the way it used to. I counted by heartbeats. Slow, shallow things. Like each thud was echoing through cardboard. Waiting. Dreading. But the timer never stopped. It reached 0. And nothing happened. For a moment, I believed it was a bluff. That maybe I had some agency left. Then I blinked. And I was no longer where I had been. I was inside the packaging room. I don't remember walking here. But there I was, standing in a new section of the warehouse that looked like my living room, if you'd cut it out with a box cutter and left it to rot in a shipping crate. The floor was bubble wrap. The walls were brown corrugated board. The ceiling was plastic film, clear enough for light to bleed through, but thick enough that I couldn't see what hovered beyond it. Shadows drifted across it sometimes. Heavy. Wide. Always watching. At the far end of the room stood a conveyor belt. Not mechanical. Not powered. Just alive. It pulsed. Throbbed. Made a wet, rubbery CHK sound every time it delivered a new item. The first thing it dropped was a roll of tape. Scarlet red. It slithered to a stop at my feet. Then came the box. Plain. Medium-sized. But printed on one panel in dull, faded ink was my full name. My real name. The one I haven't used since childhood. Not on any ID. Not in any database. Just the one I whispered once to a girl under a bridge, back when I still believed in secrets. They printed it. Spelled right. Perfect font. It was waiting for me. The box opened on its own. I couldn't see the bottom. There was no bottom. Just depth. A slow, yawning depth that smelled of dust, loss, and wet cardboard. I stepped back. Another item dropped from the conveyor. My phone. Screen lit, displaying the final line of a packing slip. Buyer instructions: fold neatly. Tape corners tight. No room for hesitation. I heard breathing behind me. Not mine. Something tall. Dry. Like bones rubbing together inside a burlap sack. I turned, but nothing was there. Still, the walls leaned in. Closer. Encouraging. I tried to speak. To say no. To ask for help. But all that came out was the sound of a scanner beep. My chest burned. I pulled up my shirt. A barcode. Right across my sternum. No numbers. Just black lines. Thick. Branded. I dropped to my knees, shaking. Another packing slip dropped beside me. No tape this time. Just a message. Some things can't be returned. Some things shouldn't have shipped. But you clicked accept. The scarlet tape unwound by itself. It slithered toward the box. Waiting. The mirror, the one I thought had stayed in the hall, was suddenly on the wall to my left. Larger now. Not glass. It rippled when I moved. Reflected not what I did, but what I wanted to do. And in the reflection, I saw myself already packed. Knees folded. Arms tied with string. Mouth covered in fragile tape. Shipping label over my face reading, recipient unknown. And even though my mouth was covered, I was screaming. Silently. Hopelessly. The bell dropped one more item. A return authorization slip. Blank. Unscanned. At the bottom. You have one chance to stop it. Mark the box damaged. Void the barcode. Break the seal. If you hesitate again, your shipping status becomes legacy. And legacy can't be undone. I didn't move. Not at first. But something broke in me, whether from fear or clarity, I can't say. I grabbed the box cutter from the floor, slashed across the barcode on my chest, and screamed. The air shimmered. The lights above pulsed once. And the conveyor belt stopped. The tape retracted. The box collapsed in on itself. And then the room fell away entirely. I woke on my kitchen floor. Naked. Bleeding. The mirror gone. The dashboard on my laptop was blank. All listings purged. No trace of silent guest. No trace of any customer. No feedback. No account. No metrics. Just one tab open. You are not eligible for refunds. Below it, one clickable button. File claim as lost. I hovered the mouse over it. And before I clicked, I heard a chime. From my hallway. A single tone. Sharp. Metallic. The sound of a scanner. Something had just arrived. Part 5. Legacy Stock. The scanner chime echoed through the apartment like it didn't belong to this world. It was too loud for what it was. Piercing, yes, but also hollow, like a sound recorded and played back from deep underwater. Like something knocked loose from time. It came again. Ding. This time, followed by the soft whir of wheels rolling across hardwood. I moved slowly. carefully. The hallway was darker than it should have been. The bulb overhead flickered. Not out of power, but out of place, like it was being throttled by something unseen. And there it was, at the end of the hallway. A delivery cart. The kind used in fulfillment centers. Its wheels were damp. It hadn't come through the door. Hadn't come through anything. Just appeared, the way new orders do. On the cart was a single package. Boxed. Taped. Neatly sealed in the same scarlet line. But this box was flesh-colored. Not cardboard. Not plastic. It looked like skin, stretched tight over a frame of something rigid beneath. A shipping label pulsed faintly on top, like it was backlit from inside. I stepped closer. It was my name again, but different. Now it read, Dean Carter, Fulfillment ID, Legacy 001. And below that, this item is for demonstration purposes only. Not for resale. Not for escape. The box breathed. Not deeply, just a twitch with each whisper of air in the room. Like it was waiting for me to finish the process. I should have run. I wanted to. But I also wanted to know. Needed to. I reached for the tape seam with shaking hands. It recoiled from my touch, just a little. Then yielded. The top flap curled back. Inside was me. Not a photo. Not a mannequin. Me. Eyes open. Blinking. No mouth. Just a smooth patch of skin where it should be. Its chest rose and fell with shallow, fluttering breaths. It stared at me with panic, recognition, regret. And it was wearing a name tag. Hello, my name is Dean, your fulfillment specialist. The mirror was back on the wall. I hadn't seen it return. It wasn't just reflecting now, it was projecting. Scenes. Lives. I saw the others. The previous sellers. Men. Women. People who clicked, accept, when they shouldn't have. Trapped behind thin plastic. Hung on walls like merchandise. Some were still processing orders. Even without hands. Even without minds. Just looped into the system forever. A woman stared blankly at a shipping monitor in a room made of tape and receipts, her teeth filed into scanner bars. Another man was packed flat into a blister card, his eyes darting behind sealed plastic, barcode pressed to his forehead. Each one labeled, Condition, like new. And beneath their photos, one line. Do not contact seller. No longer responsible. I backed away. The package twitched. The clone, or version, or soul shell, inside the box reached a hand toward me. It tapped its chest, then pointed behind me. I turned. The real mirror, the hallway one, was rippling again. The wall around it expanding, warping, opening into a warehouse. The warehouse. Endless aisles of boxes, stacked to the ceiling, each with a label, each breathing. Some boxes were screaming, their walls convulsing like lungs trying to break free. And at the end of the aisle, on a throne of packing foam and returns tape, sat the manager. I hadn't seen him before. Not really. But he had always been watching. Thin. Long-limbed. His head made of receipt paper, endlessly printing and curling to the floor like streamers. His hands were barcodes. His mouth was a zip tie. And across his chest, a name tag etched into blister plastic. Mr. Guest, Inventory Control. He looked at me with hollow eyes made of QR codes and said nothing. He only raised one finger and pointed to a wall marked New Stocking. There was space there. Just the right size for a box like mine. My mirror self began to cry. Silent tears from eyes that never closed. And then I understood. This wasn't just about shipping. Not about products or orders. It was about placement. About taking your place on the shelf. Forever. The hooks weren't meant to hold things. They were meant to hang us. The fulfilled. The completed. I grabbed the shipping label from the box. It peeled away like skin. I ran to the mirror. Pressed it against the surface. A hum started. The image trembled. And I screamed into the glass. Return to sender! The warehouse shuddered. Mr. Guest turned his head. The cart behind me ignited in a burst of static and flame, consuming the box. The version of me inside didn't scream. It only smiled. And the mirror snapped shut. I woke in a hospital bed. Bright light. Normal sounds. Someone talking to a nurse. A man in a navy blue blazer eventually came in. Introduced himself as a representative from Amazon's corporate escalation team. He smiled too much. Asked too many questions. Never wrote anything down. When I told him what happened, he nodded like he'd heard it before. Before leaving, he handed me a sealed envelope. Inside was a gift card. No return address. Amount $0. On the back, handwritten. Thank you for fulfilling your role. If anything arrives, do not open it. You are legacy now. It's been 3 days. I'm home. The lights flicker sometimes. The mirror is gone. But I can still hear the tape, tearing, stretching. And at night, the hallway smells like cardboard. I haven't opened the front door in hours. Because there's something sitting just outside. Silent. Still. A box. Just my size.